first door, right? First door?
Yes, the first door.
Thank you so much. hi.
Thank you.
Yes, good?
Yeah, everything's good.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too.
Is still a congressman on a party line vote. The House has moved on a proposed resolution to expel Santos to the House Ethics Committee. WCBS Long Island Bureau Chief Sophia Hall has the latest live from Nassau County. Sophia.
And Tanya, House Republican leaders avoided a vote whether to expel Congressman George Santos, who faces numerous federal charges of fraud and money laundering, and instead voted to move the resolution to the House Ethics Committee. Republican Long Island Congressman Anthony Diaz-Pizito had this to say.
I was one of the first members of this body to call on the subject of this resolution to resign, and I am personally in favor of this individual's expulsion from this House. Regrettably, however, I'm in the understanding that we currently do not have the two-thirds support from members of this House to expel that individual.
The Ethics Committee has already been investigating Santos, and what did Santos have to say?
Everybody is innocent until proven guilty. You cannot behave as judge and jury.
And suddenly yesterday, Santos' spokesperson resigned from her job. She has held the position since he was sworn into office. Tanya and Paul.
Never a dull moment. Sophia Hall on that story this morning, so thanks. The Suffolk County police officer who was shot in the line of duty last Thursday is set to be released from the hospital this morning. Hundreds of police officers are expected to greet Officer Michael LaFauci when he leaves the Stony Brook University Hospital at 11 a.m. He was shot in the thigh while doing surveillance at a home in Coram as part of an armed robbery investigation. 20-year-old Janelle Funderburk is accused of firing at him twice. He pleaded not guilty to attempted murder charges. After his court appearance on Friday, he told reporters, "Tell LaFauci, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it." Police say that Funderburk is a member of the Bloods.
WCBS News Time, 5:35. Only one beach in the tri-state area has landed on Dr. Beach's annual list of the top 10 beaches in the country. Cooper's Beach in Southampton landed at number 3. The top spot went to a 9-mile stretch of beach at the State Park on St. George Island, just off the Florida Panhandle. Stephen Leatherman, a.k.a. Dr. Beach, called it an idyllic place. Rounding out the top 10 is Coast Guard Beach on Cape Cod.
Indiana Jones is back. The much-anticipated Indiana Jones on the Dial of Destiny is making its world premiere at the Cannes Film Festival today. Harrison Ford says this is the last time he'll play Indy. Ford is also set to receive an honorary Palme d'Or from Cannes. The movie is set to hit theaters on June 30th. How many years ago did the original one come out?
Ooh, a long time, something like that, yeah.
At least, yeah.
That was terrific. I had a poster of Indiana Jones in my college dorm room.
Let me making you feel
all right, I'm dating myself. A shoe napper is accused of taking an iconic pair. CBS's Monica Ricks explains. A man's facing charges in Minnesota for stealing the iconic ruby slippers Judy Garland wore in The Wizard of Oz back in 1939.
There's no place like home.
Prosecutors say Terry John Martin swiped the slippers more than 16 years ago, but authorities recovered them in a sting operation in 2018. They were in perfect condition, and conservators at the Smithsonian later confirmed they're the real deal. Only 4 known pairs exist, each one worth at least $100,000. Monica Ricks, CBS News.
5:37. The Mets and Rays battled it out last night at Citi Field. If you missed it, don't worry. Got you covered this morning. Time now for Mets 360.
Got him swinging. Sweeper on the outside corner. 10 strikeouts tonight for Kodai Senga. Denver, strike 3 called. He got him with a cutter. Senga pumps his fist as he walks off the mound, and that retires the side.
Santos hits a high fly ball, deep center field. Siri on the move to the track to the wall. And
back to Queen. Breaking ball hit in the air to deep left field. Back goes Raley. It's gonna go. Alvarez ties the game. He hits a hanging breaking ball. Walks halfway to first before flinging the bat high in the air in jubilation. Swinging a high fly. Deep left field. Pete Alonso has won the game. It's a 3-run walk-off home run. 8-7 New York.
That's our Mets in 60 recap. Again, the Mets won 8-7 against the Tampa Bay Rays. Let's go Mets.
On the Record with Steve Scott is where the biggest news stories are told. Listen weekday afternoons from 1 to 4:30 here on WCBS 880 News.
Let's check traffic and weather together on the 8th. Tom Kaminsky.
And Tanya, good morning to you, and good morning, drivers. And let's start first off on the Cross Bronx eastbound, right around Rosedale Avenue. We have a collision there. At least one lane is out of service. We're starting to see those delays just beginning to build in through that area. The Lincoln and Holland and GWB, they look good for now, but again, it's a Thursday. A lot of folks heading to the office, usually on a Thursday, so we'll keep an eye on the delay there, but at least all the travel lanes New Jersey bound are now open with the overnight work now wrapped up. Out of Rockland into Westchester looks good. Southbound Thruway, to and across the Cuomo Tappan Zee Bridge, 287 in the Bronx River. They all look good. All the overnight work on the New England Thruway's been wrapped up out of New Rochelle into the Bronx. Alternate side parking rules are suspended citywide for religious observances, but the meters remain in effect. I'm Tom Kaminsky in the WCBS Traffic Center.
I think it's just a frost this morning, Trey Allen. I think there's a hard freeze in some of the mountains.
There is. In some of the northwest sections of New Jersey, right on back up into the Hudson Valley, especially north of 84. So our distant valley sections, where that cold air is able to pool under the clear sky and the very light winds, that's what we've got going on. Some upper 20s to low 30s out there. The city is at 46. Nearby suburbs are in the upper 30s. This kind of a chill will be with us for another couple hours. And then mostly sunny, but remaining cool through the afternoon, 60 to 65. A clear night coming up, 45 to 50, upper 30s to low 40s in the suburbs. Friday, the sun will give way to clouds later in the day, high 65 to 70. We do have showers on the way for perhaps as early as late Friday night, but definitely Saturday, some showers around, chance of a thunderstorm too. Highs will be in the mid-60s. Improvement for Sunday, chance of an early leftover shower during the morning hours, that's it. And then clearing and milder and turning out much nicer. The afternoon up around 75. Monday, mostly sunny, 70 to 75. Right now, 46. Humidity, 43%.
All right, thank you, Craig. And if you're getting your morning Joe, many coffee fans are fuming over changes at one popular chain. CBS's Deborah Rodriguez with details. The latest brouhaha at Starbucks is over the shape of the ice. In some locations, the chain is switching its classic square cubes to smaller, more dense nuggets, similar to crushed ice. Some fans are furious. One Redditor says the new nuggets will melt faster, dilute iced coffees, and the sweetness. Others are worried it'll ruin the texture of their frappuccinos. But Starbucks says it's conducted tests and the melting time is the same. Earlier this month, customers were miffed when they found out the company would begin charging $1 extra if you ask for no water in your fruity refresher. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
Everyone sings. Weezer is lending a musical effort to the writer's strike. Band members put on a pop-up concert right outside of the main gate at Paramount, where production is ground to a halt. Band member Scott Schreiner told the picketers, "We wanted to try and support you guys and do something fun since you're standing out here all day." One of our newsroom critics this morning, and you know who you are, notes that Beverly Hills is not everyone's Weezer favorite, but they also played Buddy Holly and Island in the Sun in their show yesterday.
Mayor Adams is touting social services as a solution to rampant shoplifting in the city.
Mayor Adams says social programs will help the shoplifters who are mentally unwell or have substance abuse problems.
We will also train our workers in de-escalation tactics and security best practices.
Queens DA Melinda Katz says her program has been very effective.
First time someone's hanging around, either being a threat or hanging around and shoplifting and anything that comes with that, they get a trespass notice because we don't want too many people ending up in the system if they don't have to. They get a warning. and the second time, they get arrested.
He says there have been many summonses given and only 3 arrests. I'm Julia Papa, WCBS 880 News.
A former worker at a ShopRite in Staten Island is suing Rudy Giuliani for $2 million. Daniel Gill claims he was falsely accused of a crime after patting the former mayor on the back. Giuliani didn't see it as a pat. He says, however, Giuliani embellished the story and flat out lied, claiming he was suffering a variety of serious physical injuries. Gill initially was charged with felony assault. Those charges later reduced to assault and menacing, misdemeanor counts. Prosecutors later agreed to have the charges dismissed if Gill stayed out of trouble for 6 months.
Populations are coming back to big cities after a big drop during the pandemic. Census Bureau estimates show declines in New York were halved last year. New York, Los Angeles, and Chicago still lost population, but they were much smaller losses compared to the first year of the pandemic when people fled urban areas. The Dallas-Fort Worth area had the largest population growth, jumping by 170,000. It's now the 4th largest metro area. Houston, Atlanta, Phoenix, and Orlando also saw large population growth. The Villages in Florida was the fastest growing U.S. metro area between 2021 and 2022, increasing by 7.5%.
Health news this morning, a study finds Americans are developing new cases of chronic pain at a higher rate than diabetes or depression. Chronic pain is defined as pain on most days, every day. Now, researchers published in the journal JAMA Network Open find 21% of participants in an NIH study reported chronic pain in 2019. That's higher than nearly 19% who had depression, 8% who had diabetes and asthma. Hypertension was more common than chronic pain at 48%.
A new study recommends quitting cannabis before pregnancy. Researchers at Central Michigan University found that fetuses that are exposed to cannabis as early as the first trimester experience significant decreases in newborn weight by more than 150 grams on average, or about a third of a pound. The weight dropped even more if the fetus continued to be exposed to weed later in the pregnancy.
Wake up with Wayne and Paul on WCBS FM and AM weekday mornings at 5:30. Sponsored by the Lake Law Firm at COVIDTaxMoney.com. Get everything you need to know every time you listen to WCBS 880 AM. And for New York's greatest hits, stay with WCBS FM 101.1 all day long.
It's a little cold out there this morning. Some of the burbs are in the 20s and 30s. We're heading to a high of 65. It's 5:45.
Mayor Adams has been blasted for busing migrants to Rockland and Orange counties, housing migrants in public schools, and considering Rikers as temporary housing. Now Adams is being criticized for his claims about the number of migrants in city hotels.
Almost half of all hotel rooms now are taken up by asylum seekers. Think about that. You know, I'm not sure what it's going to take before people hear what I am saying.
Manhattan Bronx Councilwoman Diana Ayala says the math doesn't add up. There are 130,000 hotel rooms and fewer than 40,000 migrants being housed in the 5 boroughs. Evan Thies, a spokesman for the Hotel Association of New York City, says hotel occupancy rates overall have jumped from about 70% in March 2022 to 79% this past March. But he said the city would have to provide an official number regarding how many hotel rooms are currently occupied by migrants. Thies has also served as an advisor to Adams and as his spokesman during his 2021 mayoral run. Mayor Adams wants the Biden administration to declare the city's migrant situation a formal state of emergency.
An 8-year-old migrant girl died in federal U.S. custody on Wednesday after crossing the southern border with her family. Customs and Border Protection officials say the girl died after experiencing a medical emergency inside a U.S. Border Patrol station in Harlingen, Texas, where she was being held with family members. The agency says the death is being investigated and that additional information would be released later on.
Ukraine says it was able to shoot down most of the missiles that Russia fired at Kyiv and Odessa today. 1 person was killed and 2 were wounded. This was the 9th raid targeting the Ukrainian capital this month. The escalation comes ahead of an anticipated Ukrainian counteroffensive using newly supplied weapons from the West.
President Biden has arrived in Japan for a meeting of the G7. He plans to meet privately with the Japanese Prime Minister before the summit to discuss ways to strengthen security and economic cooperation. The meetings are taking place in Hiroshima, where the U.S. dropped the first nuclear bomb in 1945. Ukraine will be the leading topic during the summit, with leaders focusing on how to maximize sanctions against Russia.
President Biden says he is confident there will be a deal to raise the debt ceiling and that the U.S. will avoid a debt default. Democrats and Republicans say they made some progress after their latest meeting at the White House on Tuesday. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says there is too much at stake not to reach a compromise.
Nobody will get everything they want in these discussions. And I hope nobody draws red lines in the sand. Nobody should ever use default as hostage, where they say, unless you do this, we will default, because the consequences would be disastrous.
Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen says the U.S. will default on its debts on June 1st unless the debt ceiling is raised.
548 at WCBS. It's traffic and weather together on the A, sponsored here by Morningside Nursing and Rehabilitation System. Let's check in with Tom Kaminsky.
All right, Paul, one more from here. We'll be flying for the next report. We have delays on the northbound side of the Garden State Parkway. Still seeing some of the leftover delays from the overnight work up around 154 in Clifton. That construction work there is wrapping up. Southbound side now on the Garden State Parkway, right around 135. Watch for a stall there in Clark. One lane is closed. The westbound side of the LIE, seeing volume in through the Clearview. It just appears to be all volume, although that southbound Clearview ramp to the eastbound side of the LIE is looking very slow, so we'll keep an eye on that. We have one issue in the Bronx on the eastbound side of the Cross Bronx. Rosedale Avenue, watch for a collision. One lane is closed there. 5 minutes and just beginning to build at the Lincoln and Holland and GWB. Alternate side parking rules suspended citywide for religious observances, but the meters remain in effect. Next update comes your way from Chopper 880. I'm Tom Kaminsky in the WCBS Traffic Center.
If you're in need of inpatient, short, or long-term rehabilitation, Morningside Nursing and Rehabilitation Center in the Bronx is ready to give you the type of care that will make the difference. Call 718-409-8200 or visit morningsidenrc.com to learn more. And what a chilly morning, Craig Allen.
It is in parts of northwest New Jersey especially, but you'll also find in the Hudson Valley, especially the western side of the Hudson Valley, on up towards Interstate 84, you'll find a couple spots that are below freezing, like, and I'm going to go through these here. Poughkeepsie is 30. Montgomery is 28. Let's get back into Sussex County. I see 26 in Walpack right now. It's 30 degrees in Sussex. Hackettstown, 30. And 33, that was in Stewartsville. Okay, so you just went above the freezing mark. Those are some of the coldest readings that I could find out here. A cold start, obviously, but obviously not as bad around the city and the coastal sections. But then mostly sunny for the afternoon, and it's still cool. High 60 to 65. Clear sky tonight, 45 to 50, upper 30s to low 40s in the suburbs. Tomorrow the sun will give way to clouds later in the day, high 65 to 70. Saturday, it's a damp start to the weekend. Showers, possibly even a thunderstorm, high in the mid-60s, but improvement for Sunday, that is, with an early leftover shower. That's just a possibility. Otherwise, clearing and milder and nicer, and highs in the afternoon will be up around 75. Right now it's 46, humidity 43%.
551 at WCBS. You gotta love those mornings when the Mets fans are smiling, and here's Jerry Recco.
The Mets have played some lackluster baseball of late. Last night, though, an exciting win in 10 over the Rays, 8-7, as Pete Alonso hit a game-winning 3-run homer. Manager Buck Showalter happy to see the team fight back multiple times.
It's painful to watch people you care about go through, some of the things, and it'll be the first day is self-inflicted, so tonight they refuse to roll over.
Game-tying home runs for Francisco Alvarez and Mark Vientos. Series finale today. Tyler McGill takes on Taj Bradley right here on WCBS 880 and 101.1 HD2. The Blue Jays got a 10th inning 3-run homer from Danny Jansen. They shut out the Yankees 3-zip. No surprise here. Domingo Germán given a 10-game suspension, and Luis Severino set to make his first start of the season this Sunday in Cincinnati. The Heat got 35 from Jimmy Butler, beat the Celtics 123-116. Tonight, Game 2 in in Denver for the Nuggets and Lakers, and the NHL's Eastern Conference Finals begin tonight in Raleigh with the Hurricanes and Panthers. Jerry Recco, WCBS 880 Sports.
The following is a paid commercial announcement.
Central banks, they're dumping the U.S. dollar because of inflation, deficit spending, and our insurmountable national debt. That's bad news for the dollar, bad news for your savings. The fact remains there is one asset that has withstood famine, wars, and economic upheaval dating back to biblical times, and that's gold. And you can own it in a tax-sheltered retirement account with the help of Birch Gold. Birch Gold will help you convert an existing IRA or 401k, maybe from a previous employer, into an IRA in gold. And the best part, you don't have to pay a penny out of pocket. Text the word Patriot to 989898 and claim your free info kit on gold. Think about this. When the banks falter,